Hello everyone, my name is Mehdi and today I'll be showing you how to extract VDB files from the smoke simulation in Blender for Keyshot. As you can see, you will be expecting to have results like the steam here, and I'll be showing you some more variants. And this is obviously with more lighting. I changed the lighting, I was playing with everything. This is with more caustics, which didn't work out pretty well. This is in a darker settings. You can see how light affects your smoke and your steam simulation here in Keyshot. And this one again, play with lighting. This one is probably my favorite one. It looks kind of like a fire, like flames going up from your coffee cup. Obviously, these are not finalized, and I'll be posting a final render on my Instagram. If you guys want to follow me, it's designed by Mehdi, as you may have guessed it. And you can see how between these two renders, one of them is it's like thicker, which doesn't look as natural, and the other one is less denser. You can play with these settings in Keyshot, and it's pretty fun. It's you can experiment with different stuff, and like for this one, you can't even see the steam that much. It's just some white halo kind of thing going on there, and that's the final one that I did. So let's start. If you're not familiar with Blender, Blender is a free 3D modeling software that you can just download it from blender.org, and it's a pretty big software. There are a ton of tutorials for Blender on YouTube and on other websites. And by no means I'm an expert, so you can, if you didn't find anything here on my channel, just look it up on YouTube and you will definitely find a video for it. So when you download Blender, just install it and then open Blender, which I have, and this is the first page that you'll get. Mine's a bit older version. I downloaded it like a few months ago and I haven't updated it yet. So it's fine, it'll work the same. And in order to open a new file, you just go to General, and this is your scene. You can just move around and pan around your object with your mouse scroll. And this is the default cube. We're not going to use this, so I'm just going to delete it, and it's deleted now. And for our steam or smoke simulation, what you could do, you could just bring or import a STL file of say your coffee cup from like SolidWorks or something to Blender for reference, but you don't have to do it. I tried multiple ways. You don't really have to use a reference because you can just size everything up and down. So I wouldn't recommend it, but if you want to do it, just go ahead, import your STL and work with that. But I'm not going to do it again. So in order for our steam, since I'm using the steam simulation for a coffee cup, we want it to be cylindrical. We want it to be circular. So for that, we just go Shift A, and Shift A is basically a shortcut for add here. So you go to Mesh, and then you do cylinder. As you can see, we have the cylinder. I'm just gonna increase the vertices here to something, say 40. I think that's fine. It doesn't really matter since smoke isn't that accurate. I'm just going to keep it at 40, and as you can see, this is pretty lengthy, so I'm just going to scale it down. I'm going to press S for scale, and then as you can see, we can just scale this up and down, and I'm going to be scaling this down on the Z axis. So if I press S and then Z, you can scale this object down on the Z axis only, and I'm just going to bring it up a little bit because I don't like how it's just sitting there. So I'm going to press G and then again Z to bring it up, and I think that looks fine. When you want to like move around your scene like this, you have to hold Shift and your scroll on your mouse, and not your mouth, your mouse. And this is the scene that we have right now. You can add the smoke simulation manually. But for some reason, it hasn't really worked for me. I've tried it multiple times, but I don't know why it doesn't just work for me sometimes. So for that reason, we're just going to do a quick effect. You go to Object while your cylinder is selected, and you should be able to find Quick Effects, and we go Quick Smoke. And as soon as you click quick smoke, you will see your smoke forming up here. And if you press play, you can see that it's going up. And if you're happy with this result, if you just want to like keep it as is, then I'll suggest you jump. I don't know, into the like the 20th minute of this video or something. I don't know how long it's gonna take for when I'm baking it. But I'm gonna be doing some settings or some different settings. I'm gonna change some settings, and it'll look better. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on my cylinder, which is the smoke simulation now, and go to my physics properties, which is this one. If you just hover on it, I'll tell you what they are. And as you can see, it's already flow, it's smoke, inflow, perfect. And what I'm gonna be changing, and this is based on another YouTuber's video. I haven't really been experimenting with these numbers, and I will leave a link down below in the description, so you guys can check out his video as well. So the initial temperature should be 1.2 based on his findings, and that's how fast the smoke rises. The density, I'm gonna leave it as is. We go to flow source, surface emission. I'm just gonna decrease it a bit to 0.6. So based on his findings for the surface emission, if you decrease it, not as much smoke comes out, which is good. We can add an initial velocity. That's like for the few seconds, or like for the first second or something. It'll just come out faster if you want to do that. And for texture, we can do a texture right now, but we don't really have to. Maybe for the second part of this video, we will have to do a texture. So I'm just gonna leave it as is. And that's it for our cylinder. And now if you click on your cube, which is your domain, you can see that the resolution division is like 32. We will be increasing that later. The time scale, if you decrease this value, the smoke will travel slower. So we're just going to do 0.8, again, based on his findings. We go down, adaptive domain. Now look at our cube, see what's going to happen. And this is what's going to happen. It will render a higher resolution smoke, but it will take less processing time and less render time, which is a good thing. And I'm going to be adding this resolution to it. You can also change it from there, but this will also work pretty good. So when you go to gas here, right underneath the adaptive domain, you can change the heat, and that's like it should be 1.5, and that's how fast the smoke rises. So we're just going to do 1.5, and again, right underneath gas, we have a dissolve. We're just going to turn that on, and we're going to do, if you just like, as you can see, if you just hover on the settings, the value will tell you what it is. So we're just going to do 30, and this is 30 frames. So after 30 frames, the smoke dissolves. So you can do like 100 frames if you want the smoke to just like stay in your scene or whatever. But we're just going to keep it at 30. And I will not be touching noise today. I might play with it for the next part of this video if I do end up making it, and we'll do it then. And you can change this type to all. So it did not work. So we're just gonna change it to reply, and we're just gonna play to see how it looks so far. It looks pretty fine to me. You can change the size, the initial size of your cube if you want to, or the smoke domain. So I'm just gonna press S and then resize it. And as you can see, when I did resize, or when I did make it bigger, the smoke simulation didn't update with the size. So I'm just gonna change the resolution, and then it'll update it for itself. And as you can see, it went back to the cylinder. So if I play it again, you can see how it's going up, up, and yeah, pretty cool, huh? I think I'll be scaling it up a bit more on the z-axis. And again, I'm gonna reset the bake, and we're gonna play it. And it looks pretty good. So you can increase the resolution division. I did 64 for myself, so we're just gonna do 64. Of course, it'll take more processing power, and it'll be slower, as you can see. That's just a bit slower. So I guess we can even go higher, maybe 100. Depends on you. It doesn't honestly really matter. I mean, just don't do like 5 or something, but it doesn't matter since it's going to be very transparent. And you go down, you go to cache, and to change it to modular. And then if you scroll up, you can see that it says bake data. So just click on that. It's going to bake your data. And as you can see, it's actually pretty fast. So you could, or I guess I could increase the resolution up there. And so we're just going to wait a few seconds, a few minutes up to your processing power. And it'll end at 250. I may have to increase the end frame. And maybe we'll just like put it 500 or something. And it's actually looking pretty good. It's looking pretty decent. And the last frame is that, which should be fine, I believe. Yeah, I think that's fine. So I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna change this folder. I may have had to change it before I actually baked it. So I go to 18 and let's see. Let's make a new folder and let's call it VDB files or something. VDB files accept. And so the files, the frames, each VDB frame should be in your folder now, in your designated folder. So let's go double check. You go to 18 again. What do they call it? VDB files. And it's not there. Okay, it's because you have to free your data and then bake it again when it's when you already designated your folder. So I'm just gonna bake it again. And now that it is baked, you go to your folder and you can find all the data. And this is what we need. As you can see, we have 250 VDB files, which you can use any of these files for your Keyshot. So that's pretty nice. I'm gonna use one of these last ones because they looked more, I guess, expanded. So we're gonna go back to our Keyshot file, and this was my scene that you saw the renders for. I already had everything that was necessary to our tutorial, so it won't take as much rendering time and processing time. So I think this will work just fine. And for the smoke, we need to make or add a cylinder or a cube. You can add whatever you want. So I'm just going to be adding a cylinder here. I don't know why it needs fuzz, but that's that. I'm just going to turn on my performance mode because what the hell. And I'm going to go to my camera. Okay, there we go. It's pretty humongous. It does that sometimes, and I have no idea why. It's just pretty annoying, and it adds multiple cylinder for some reason, and I think that's where we want it to be. Translate, we're going to go down, and obviously it's not pretty big. I'm just going to do 5, so I think 5 is fine, and I'm going to be moving that right on top of our coffee cup. So that's that, and maybe a bit smaller. It doesn't really have to fit in your coffee cup because you can just change the size of your smoke yourself later. And that's looking. That's looking. It doesn't even look that good. I'm gonna turn off my performance mode. Double click on my cylinder. Go to the material type and change it to, where is it? A scattering medium. So originally, what I wanted to do for this video, I wanted to actually show you guys how to make a smoke animation in Keyshot from Blender, but that didn't quite work out. So that's why I've been mentioning the part 2, the second part. But Leon Martin has another similar video on this very topic, which you guys can check out. So here I'm going to be going to texture, and I'm going to be just double clicking on this, and we can go to our VDB files. You go to data, and you scroll down all the way to say 245, for example, and it's going to instantly change it. It just looks super weird, and I have no idea what that is. So we're going to have to move it until we figure out what it is exactly, and like resize it and everything. Okay, so it was tilted, as you could see, and it's pretty small. So we're just gonna bring this down into our coffee cup. Is that a mug, or is that just like a cup? I have no idea what the difference is. All right, so we're just gonna center it right in the middle, and I think it's in the middle. Hopefully, I don't know. And I'm just gonna go with OK, and I'm gonna be scaling it up a bit. So maybe let's do 6. Let's see how big that is. That's too small. Let's do 8. I think that's probably fine. And that is it. I'm gonna go back to my camera. So I think it was 18, and we're just gonna move it back. And I'm also gonna turn on my coffee, which I don't remember. Oh, it was the disk. Okay, right? Yeah, it's somewhere in there. It's right there. Yeah, but you can't really see it because the smoke is covering it right now. So we double click on the smoke. You can change the color, you can change the density, you can change the scattering, which affects the light. So I'm going to change the transmission to something like grayish, whitish. And if you just go completely white, then it'll just completely disappear. So you don't want that. You want something, something to show or to be there. So I think I'm just going to do 90%. And for transparency distance, the lower it goes, the less transparent it gets. So if you go like really low, you can see how black it looks. And as you can see, it's like you feel like that it's the opposite side, it's a flip, but it's not. It's just the size of your cylinder. That's the very end, your cylinder or your cube or whatever. So I'm gonna be scaling the cylinder on the z-axis again to make the smoke look better. And we're just going to click OK, and as you can see, it's looking better, and it's based on our simulation that we did in Keyshot. And obviously this is too dark, so again I'm going to go as high as to 1/2 inch, so it's not as transparent. And the density, we can leave it at 1, but I think 1 is too much, so I'm just going to be doing 0.7. And multiple scattering, if you turn that on, the light will affect your VDB files better, I guess more realistic. So turn it on, and albedo. Albedo, I don't exactly know what albedo does. All I know is that the default color is for smoke and not for steam. So I'm gonna change the albedo color to something whiter. Maybe it's 85% is fine. And you can render this if it's taking too long to render and to process. You can just like send it to a farm or something, which I do. And then I play with it while it's rendering. And then if the results were not as good as I wanted to, I'll just like send a new render to the farm, to the render farm. So that's what I do. And I believe this has to, you have to move this a bit to like somewhere here maybe. And I think the density is still too much, so we're just going to do 0.5. And I will be rendering this, and I will be showing you the results at the end of this video, which it is the end of this video, I think. And thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I'll be posting a second part of smoke animation or smoke tutorial, I don't know, steam tutorial on YouTube next week or 2 weeks from now. We'll see. Just let me know what you thought about this this video. I'm not the best in Blender, so I'm not obviously the fastest, but I do like to experiment with new 3D programs and everything, and Blender was one that I really liked, and I've been just playing with it ever since. So let me know if you have any questions. I will answer all your questions if I can, of course. And thank you for watching this video, and you will see the results in a second. Bye.